The Lord is mighty. Oh, the Lord is mighty. The Lord works in mysterious ways. You know that. I know that. We all know that. The Lord works in mysterious ways. The most mysterious way is when you don't even believe in the Lord. And you don't even believe in mystery. You don't believe in anything. You watch the purveyors of belief in disbelief. You think that everyone who believes anything is naive, a simpleton, feeble-minded. I know. I've been there. And now, people think that I'm a naive, feeble-minded simpleton because I dared to believe that I could save the world with just a little bit of ingenuity here in my garage. And you know who I'm inspired by? Bill Gates. No less. See, it is widely known that he started Microsoft in a garage. Think maybe in Silicon Valley. Every genius has a garage. Every genius is a front man or front woman for something else. This could be a noble cause or an ignoble cause. Now, I am a front man for an anti-coronavirus virus, and I'm creating it here in my garage because the Lord works in mysterious ways, and because I am quite naive, certainly a simpleton, and assuredly feeble-minded. I have the implacable belief I cannot be dissuaded, but I can invent, design an anti-coronavirus virus. The ACV, the coveted ACV. Because, if you haven't noticed already, this coronavirus, well, it's quite sneaky, isn't it? It works in mysterious ways. It is the working of the Lord. You know it. I know it. Who else could level economies around the world in one fell swoop? Only the Lord. And for mysterious reasons, assuredly, of course, we can divine that the plan is divine. Here I am in my garage. Here I am. I've always wanted to change the world for the better, and now I know how. But I don't know how. I don't. It's where you come in. I'm going to crowdsource your brilliance. You're going to help me engineer the anti-coronavirus virus, and we together can work in mysterious ways, facilitating the Lord's will. You know the hand of providence when you see it. I know the hand of providence when I see it. The hand of providence is at hand. The fingers are in everything, and I think you know that. The fingers of the Lord. And you and I, together, crowdsourcing, amassing our collective brilliance, are going to get our fingers in the DNA of the coronavirus, and thus we will engineer the superlative antipathogen. Now, I haven't quite figured out how that's going to happen, but I don't need to, because the Lord works in mysterious ways. See, in order to solve the problem at one level of consciousness, you have to bring about another level of consciousness, because the problem cannot be solved at the level of consciousness that created it. So goes the spiritual truism. Using that spiritual truism, I have developed the prototype of the anti-coronavirus virus. I have a meta upon the virus itself. The virus apparently is this physical, lifeless entity. It infects the cell and hijacks it and then replicates using the genetic material of the cell, and then when that cell is exhausted, the virus spreads to other cells, infecting them. The host is debilitated ultimately. I'd like you to work with me. I'd like us to work together on creating a meta-paradigm for eliminating the coronavirus with our own virus. So, the meta-paradigm acknowledges that the virus, in quotes, exists on the physical level. That we don't really know. You and I, we haven't read the research papers. We're not virologists. We're not arcane scientists thumbing through the archives of Scientific American. We don't consider ourselves capable of understanding the nuances and the intricacies of the architecture of viruses in the physical realm. And to be quite honest, we're simpletons, you and I. We're working together, we're hoping to multiply our intersubjective brilliance, but we are naive, and we are ultimately feeble-minded compared to the intellectuals. We are. We know. If we were lucky, we have a bachelor's degree. We do most of our research on YouTube and in the comment sections of controversial Facebook posts. But what we do know is that any problem that we want to solve cannot be solved at the level that created the problem. So we're gonna get meta. We're gonna get meta. We understand at least this one thing, the essential component of the obvious paradigm, which is the virus is said to exist at the physical level. So what is meta? Relative to the physical. We're not virologists. We're not scientists. But we do know of the metaphysical. And in this case, we're going to shrink wrap it just a little bit and keep it only on the level of the mind. I don't want to get metaphysical in the sense of supernatural or paranormal or spiritual. I don't want to do that. What we have come to understand just in our everyday reflections upon the matter, you and me, is that there are two viruses. There's the physical virus, quote-unquote virus, and then there is the mental virus. They come together simultaneously. They are like those Olympic swimmers who are constantly synchronized in tandem. They're always co-present and co-inactive. Co-inactive. We're feeble-minded, but we know what that means. That the mental virus and the physical virus constantly co-create one another. We don't understand the virus on the physical level. We get conflicting data every day, multiple times a day. We don't know who to trust. We don't even know if trust is possible. You and me, we're simple. We only got bachelor's degrees. We didn't go further because back then either we didn't have the money, we didn't have the stamina, or we somehow knew that it was a conflict of interest to wake up or go to graduate school. So, we woke up. We distrusted. We turned our nose up at the intellectuals, the academics. Somehow, instinctually, we distrusted them. Because after 4 years of college education, we were like, really? So now, the whole world that we left behind is caught in this double virus, is locked down in house arrest, shelter in place. But we don't believe in that, because we didn't go to graduate school. We don't watch the mainstream news media, which is graduate school for people who got just BAs. We're not plugged in to the mental virus. We are not plugged into the mental virus. All we know is that there is reportage of a physical virus, but because we're not plugged into the mental virus, we are very, very agnostic, if not atheistic, toward the physical virus. So, here, in my garage, the anti-Bill Gates, I am here designing an antivirus, an anti-coronavirus virus that only goes after the mental coronavirus, the mental pathogen. What I'm going to do is to crowdsource, with your help, an antivirus that is so effective that when it enters the mind of those who believe in the piggyback of the physical and mental coronavirus, the duo, that our virus, the one that you and I created together, slips right up the butt of the other mental virus and incapacitates it right up the rear. Anal penetration. Split it from behind. Shatter that motherfucker. And then, guess what happens when the mental coronavirus is thus penetrated and thus annihilated and henceforth extinguished? What happens? The physical virus goes with it. Because you and I know that the coronavirus physical version did not exist without the coronavirus mental version. And you and I, because we are so feeble-minded and so naive, we are simpletons. We didn't go to graduate school and we don't watch the media. Here we are in our garages trying to save the world with our common sense by just not believing in the mirage and the collective hallucination and the charade of common sense. We don't believe in any of it. If you put a mask on our face and put gloves on our hands and told us to social distance, we would revolt and rebel and riot because we're just too stupid. We're too stupid to be indoctrinated. We're just too stupid to be brainwashed. We don't know any better. We didn't get our PhDs, and we cannot tell you the various news anchors for all the mainstream news media channels. We just don't know who they are. We stopped reading the New York Times and the Washington Post. For all intents and purposes, we're peasants of the mind. But what we have done together, you and me, is engineer the mental anti-coronavirus virus. How have we done that? We've done that by realizing we've done that together by realizing that there was one thing that had created all of this coronavirus, COVID-19, lockdown, social distancing, the gloves, the masks. When all of that came at us, you and me, the dumb people who just don't get it and who do not want to cooperate, what we knew in that moment, and this is where we connect, is that we were supposed to be terrified, but we're just too dumb to be terrified. We're just not smart enough to be afraid all the time. So here I am. Total civil disobedience. I'm not following the rules. I'm just too stupid. I'm too naive to let myself be completely subjugated by fear. And that, my friends, is the anti-coronavirus virus. It's the mental virus that I apparently have in embryo here in my garage. I got it. I don't know how I got it, but something tells me I do know. I've got this virus, the anti-coronavirus virus, this mental pathogen that says this fear is bullshit, that I'm supposed to be in constant fear. Every single surface on the planet is going to kill me. Every single human being around me is going to kill me. I can do nothing but simply wait in total dependence so the powers that be can save me. Never mind the fact that I only learned about this virus through the media outlets controlled by the powers that be. The anti-coronavirus mental virus, it simply says, I am controlled when I am in fear. I am controlled when I am afraid. And because I'm just too stupid to be afraid, just too dumb, I guess I can't be controlled.